Hey there, welcome to TND Video Games. This is your store tour for July 2023. Let's go! What I'm going to do for this tour is give you a section by section breakdown, and I'm going to do it by console. Last time I did a store tour, I sort of went around the store and did section by section, but this time I'd like to do it by console. So I'll be starting with Nintendo, then I'll do Sega, after that PlayStation, followed by Xbox, and then some of the miscellaneous consoles like TurboGrafx. So let's get started with the NES. Here is our NES section. Personally, this is one of my favorite sections in the store. I just love the end labels, so cool. They're all there. We got some box games at the top, the Tension carts, and then over here in the display case we have any game that's sort of over $40 or rare. We have a lot of good titles in there right now, so pretty happy with our NES section. We also have some boxed NES games here behind the counter. Next we have the Super Nintendo section. So we've got 3 rows here going all the way down, and I'll go close up here so you get a better idea of what we have in stock. A lot of the uncommon stuff, a lot of common stuff as well. Got a lot of good Super Nintendo in stock right now. Super Nintendo's selling really well. A lot of complete set collectors out there looking for stuff. So that's what we have out on the shelves. And then over here in our display case, we have all of this. So all the rare games, any games that are a little more expensive, you're gonna find in here. It's a little hard to read the labels here, but fortunately we have end labels, unlike the next console, which I'll be doing in just a second here. We also have boxed Super Nintendo games here behind the counter. Next console is the Nintendo 64, and we have a decent selection right now, but I gotta be honest with you, these games are selling very quickly, and this might be the hardest console right now to restock in the store. A lot of good games in stock here, and anything over $40 will once again be in our display case. So a lot of the Mario titles are in here, Pokemon, Zelda, you're gonna find all those games over here. So I've got a lot of good games in here. Good selection as well. We also have some boxed N64 games behind the counter as well. Next I'll do the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games. So over here we have the Game Boy Color games that we have in stock. And here we have the original Game Boy games that we have in stock, followed by Game Boy Advance here at the end. We also have some Game Boy Advance games up here. We also have a small bin of Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. Next we've got the GameCube. So out here on the shelves, we've got 2 full shelves here of GameCube games. A lot of really nice titles out here as well. You'll see some doubles for some games, and some will just have 1 copy in stock. Over here in the display case, we've got all of our higher end or more obscure or rare GameCube games. A lot of really good titles in here as well. Next we've got the Wii. So we have a huge selection of Wii. A lot of really good games in stock. A lot of our core and popular titles are here at the top. Mario's, Mario Kart, anything Mario. Mario Galaxy, Twilight Princess, they're all there at the top. Just Dance games, everything there. And then we've got a lot of the $5 to $15 games that are sort of down here. There are so many games for the Wii, it's unbelievable. We also have some Wii games in our display cabinet. Some of these are sealed and some of them are open. Some really good games in here as well. Down here we have our Wii U section. We just did a really nice restock a few weeks ago, and we actually have a pretty decent selection here right now. We also have more Wii U games in our display cabinet. Some of these are sealed and some of them are open. Here we have our Nintendo Switch games. So we have a pretty good selection of these right now as well. Switch is always selling, and we seem to be getting more of it traded in these days, which is pretty awesome. So we have a lot of Switch games here, and then some of these are collector's items, you can see. We also have a few loose games over here. Next we have the Nintendo DS. So we have some games complete in the box here. We also have some more complete in the box games in our display case right here. We also have some loose DS games here. We also have a couple of rare DS games here, Pokemon Soul Silver and Pokemon Heart Gold, both in the box, complete with the Pokewalker. Next we've got the 3DS. So these games are out on the shelves right here. We also have a lot of 3DS here in the display cabinet. 3DS is also a very desirable console right now, especially with the games no longer being available online. And we have some loose 3DS games here as well. Next we have the Sega Genesis. So we have a lot of Sega Genesis cards here. A lot of good titles, a lot of core titles. We've also got a bunch CIB here as well. And then behind the counter, we have a bunch more CIB Genesis games. A lot of rare games in here, a lot of really obscure stuff. So many really good titles. We have a very small 32X section right here. These are custom cases, except for the Doom card here at the end. Pretty cool though, because these do not have end labels, so it's always good to have these custom cases for carts that don't have the end labels. Most of our Sega Master System is here behind the counter. We have a few more Sega Master System games over here as well at the bottom of this shelf. Behind this shelf, you'll find our Sega CD and Sega Saturn games. Not too many games here, but a lot of really good titles in stock. Next, we have our Sega Dreamcast games. Not too many games in stock here, but some really good titles for sure. So next we've got the PS1. So all the PlayStation games are going to be down here. Any of the $40 or more games are going to be over here in this small display case. We also have a few long box PS1 games in stock, and these are behind the counter. This is our PS2 section. A lot of good games in here. Got 4 shelves jam-packed full of games. This is alphabetized. We do try to keep only 1 copy of a game in stock, unless it's a popular title that we know we could sell 2 or 3 of in one day. PS2 is definitely another very popular console right now. We also have more PS2 in our display case. And a few more down here. Next we have our PS3 section. So we have 3 shelves full of PS3. PS3 is also a system that's becoming more popular. A lot of people like the HDMI option with this one. A lot of really good titles here. A lot of core titles. There's a lot of good games on the PS3. We have a few sealed games over here. We also have a few PS3 games in the display case, including a couple of sealed games. Next we have the PS4. We've got 2 rows of PS4 here. And this is our mighty PS5 section right here. PSP games are up here. We also have a bin of loose PSP games. There are more PSP games as well behind the counter here. Next we've got our OG Xbox. So we've got 2 full shelves of OG Xbox, tons of really good games here as well. There's our OG Xbox section. We also have a few games here in our display case. Anything that's a little more than $40 you're gonna find over here. Next we have our 360 section. One of the tallest sections in the store that goes from basically as high as we can go all the way down. There were so many games released on the 360. It's just unbelievable. We also have a few 360 games here in our display case. And we have our Xbox One section up here. Just 1 row this time, all the way across. This is our console wall. All of the consoles are tested and guaranteed. They also come with 1 controller and all cables. Some of them come with a memory card if required. We keep our portable consoles in our small display case, and we have a pretty good assortment right now. These are also selling quite well at this time. We have a few more portable consoles here, including a couple of Switch lights. We have lots of boxed consoles in the store. You'll find all of these above most of the sections. If you go around the store, you'll see boxed consoles for so many different systems. Anytime you want to look at these, we'll pull them down for you. You're welcome to open them up, check it out, see what's going on with them. So we have controllers for most of these systems as well. I'm going to show you the controller walls that are sort of scattered throughout the store here. Here we have the Nintendo Wii and GameCube controllers, plus a few Switch controllers. And and our guitars at the bottom there. Here we have Nintendo 64 controllers, Super Nintendo controllers, and NES controllers. Over here we've got PlayStation 2, 3, and 4, plus some PS1 controllers as well. Over here we have our Sega controllers. And at the bottom here we have our Xbox controllers. We also have controllers for the Xbox One and 360. We have a few TurboGrafx and PC Engine games in stock. At the bottom of all the sections here you'll find miscellaneous items like Skylanders, different cables and controllers, empty cases. We've got a full bin of GBA games here. We have a section where we have empty boxes for people, so if you're looking to complete the box of the game. Got your NES sleeves, Super Nintendo desk covers. Over here we have our magazines. Most of these are Nintendo Powers and different guides. We have a small bin of Amiibos. So that's your store tour for July 2023. If you have any questions or comments, please be sure to leave them down below and give us a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.